this cooking episode of Wild Meat Hunter NZ, I'm going to show you one recipe, but utilising 2 cuts of meat that I've been able to harvest over the last couple of weeks. First cut of meat is fallow steak, and we're going to cook a fallow venison pie, utilising all this fresh produce here, and we're going to throw in some Deep Creek double IPA there as well to give it that sort of real tasty hoppy flavour. And we're going to use flaky and also short crust pastry for our venison pie. And then the other cut of meat is 2 pawa that we're going to cook a creamed pawa pie. So we've got 2 cuts of meat here, and we're going to make a beautiful pie out of both of them, obviously separate. And yeah, let's get cooking. So we've cut up all our onions, garlic, celery, mushroom and garlic, and we're going to put that into a pan with just a bit of butter. We're going to fry that off, really saute it down, and then while that's sauteing down with a bit of fresh herbs as well, so we've got our thyme and our sage there, we're going to just dice our venison meat up into chunks. And then once that's diced up, then we will add our venison into this mixture. We'll then add and combine our liquor, so our beer and our red wine. Then we can put that into the oven and yeah, slow cook that for another hour and a half. So let's get this into the pan. So our onion, celery, carrot mix here is all done. So we've just sauteed that away for probably about 3 to 4 minutes. You can see it's gone real soft, and you know the carrots still have a bit of crunch to it, but that'll finish off when we transfer it into a stove pot. So we're just going to put all that in here, and then it doesn't matter if you leave a little bit of the mixture in the pan, because we're gonna cook or brown the venison on there, so that's fine. So we'll just leave that there, and then what we're going to do is we're going to grab our venison, which we've just diced here into small 2cm cubes, our beautiful fallow venison, and we're just going to lightly dust it in flour. So I'm just going to grab our flour here, and I'm just going to put a bit of flour in the bowl. And then I'm just going to grab some of our venison cubes and just lightly toss them in there, like so. And what that will do as well is when we add the liquid into the crock pot, the flour will act as like a thickener. So as it slowly cooks over an hour and a half, the flour on the venison will actually thicken the sauce. So we'll just get our pan back up to heat. And once they've just slowly browned on both sides, then we'll transfer this into our oven pot here. We'll add our liquid, and then we're good to throw that into the oven for an hour and a half. It's perfect. So probably no longer than a couple of minutes. You don't want to overdo it. So you can just see that it's just starting to go a little bit golden brown. The flour's still stuck to it, and like I said before, that'll just add as a bit of a thickener later on. So we're just going to add that to our original mixture, and just scrape. You can see here on the bottom of the pan, so just scrape all that off as well, because that's all just tasty flavour that we want to really get in there. So you can add whatever herbs you want. I've just got, in this case, thyme and sage. You add a bit of rosemary, a bit of parsley there if you want as well. So I'm just going to grab a thyme sprig and just run my fingers down the thyme and just sprinkle that across. So if you just pinch it together and just squeeze it and push it all off, and then just spread the thyme leaves all throughout. Now you could just honestly throw a sprig in there if you wanted to. I'm just wanting it to go a little bit further and really get all that flavor right throughout. So then what we're going to do is we're just going to grab our red wine. So you can use any type of red wine, but just make sure it's obviously, you know, fairly good quality. In this instance, I've got a nice Syrah here, so we're just going to pour that over. And then the old Deep Creek double IPA, so we're going to get that involved as well. So that's probably enough liquid that we've got in there. Yeah, Deep Creek make good beer, so that's very good. So we'll just give that a bit of a mix around, just get all the flavors in there. We've got our red wine, we've got our beer, got all of our root vegetables, we've got the beautiful venison, and also our fresh herbs. We'll just season it with a bit of salt and pepper, and then that's us done. And that will just that'll just put that on bake for 180 degrees for about an hour and a half, potentially 2 hours. So we'll just let that slow cook away, and in the meantime what we're going to do is we're going to prep our other pie, which is our beautiful creamy cream power pie. So our second recipe is utilizing this beautiful power, and we're going to mince it. And I've just got like a sort of a mincer, automatic mincer, just a small compact one that we're going to mince these two beautiful pieces of power up, and then we'll bring that back inside. We'll use some garlic, bit of onion, bit of cream to make a real rich creamy sauce. So this is my little compact little mincer. It's been in the family for a wee while now, and all you do is you obviously just put your meat through the top here, spits it out down the bottom into the bowl. Lots of varieties of mincers that you can get, so you know, go down to your local store. It's always worthwhile getting a mincer just for occasions like this where you want to do a little bit of mincing of your wild game that you've harvested. So we've just got our power that we've just minced up in our bowl here, yeah, 2 power. It doesn't look like it's gone much, but it will certainly go a fair way. And now we're just going to finely chop half an onion at this stage. We're going to crush some fresh garlic, and then we're going to saute that in butter. So we're just going to load up our garlic in our little press here, and we're just going to press that and crush it right up. We can just take that out, scrape it from one side, and then scrape it all out on the inside as well. Nothing better than sauteed onions and garlic in a hot pan. I reckon the smell is just unbelievable. So it's looking real good, so we'll just turn that heat down a bit, grab our power, we'll add our power in there, we'll give it a bit of a dusting of flour before we put our cream in. So we're just going to, the final step is just pour the cream in, and just, I guess, just judge how much cream you want to put in to the amount of quantity of power that you've got. Here at the moment, we've just used half a small bottle of cream, and we'll just let that slowly simmer away until it starts thickening. We've got about 10 minutes to go before our venison mixture is about to finish off. So we're going to prep our pastry. Now we've got 2 types of pastry here. So we've got short crust, savoury short crust pastry, and also flaky puff pastry. And you might be thinking, why am I using 2? And it's a good question. So the difference between short pastry and flaky, short is a little bit more denser, so it's a little bit more heavier. So we're going to use that for the bottom of our pie, because obviously the mixture is going to be quite juicy, so we don't want it to leak out. We want all that flavour to be held in that sort of pastry cup in our muffin tins. And then the flaky puff pastry. Now flaky puff pastry is like layered pastry, and it does rise and puff. Obviously, kudos to the name. But what we're going to do is we're going to put a piece of flaky puff pastry on the top as the lid. So you've got the cup of the pie, which is really firm, and then on top we've got this beautiful golden puffy lid, and that's just going to bring it all together. So we've got our beautiful pies here. We've got our 3 types with 2 mixtures, but we've got our cream parma one, which we're going to cut open shortly. We've got our venison, and then our venison and cheese. So let's cut into them and have a try. And yeah, see how these came out. Oh yeah, beautiful. Let's give it a go. Bit hot. Yeah, that's really good.